Alrighty, hello everyone. Chief Weather Forecaster Webb here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Before we get started with today's forecast here, make sure to check out the Asheville FM weather update starting at 11 a.m. this morning. So definitely want to tune in for that. Looking at today's weather headlines here, warm temperatures continue, showers return tomorrow, and a massive temperature cool down early next week. Today is February 18th, 2026, and today's edition of Weather Watch starts now. Alrighty, Chief Weather Forecaster Webb here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, today's February 18th, today's edition of Weather Watch. We have some nice weather expected today, temperature-wise. However, the sky-wise, it's not going to be nice. I mean, of course, we're not going to see rain. The rain is going to be mostly tomorrow. However, we're looking at cloudy conditions through much of today. Looking at today's hourly forecast here as we're getting out to school, out to work, anything like that, temperatures will be in the upper 40s by 7 a.m., upper 50s by 11 a.m. We can probably see some sunshine trying to peek through the clouds by 11 a.m., mid to upper 60s 2 through 4 p.m. Still cloudy conditions through prime time at 8 p.m. tonight, upper 50s going into the mid 50s again by 10 p.m. tonight. So want to watch out for that. Looking at today's forecast overall, mostly cloudy, 69 degrees for a high here in Asheville, 15% chance of precipitation, about 5% chance of precipitation towards Greenville-Spartanburg with mostly cloudy skies, and again, 67 degrees. 68 degrees in Charlotte with cloudy conditions, 5% chance of precipitation. Dakota sitting at 67 degrees with mostly cloudy skies, 20%, and Gatlinburg also sitting at 67 degrees with mostly cloudy skies, also sitting at that 20%. Excuse me. Now looking at yesterday's almanac, yesterday's high, we reached a high temperature of 66 degrees. The wind didn't necessarily help. The wind was breezy, so it dropped that temperature, that feels like temperature, significantly a little bit into the mid 50s at most. Lows were below freezing last night in the lower 30s there. Average high is about 53 degrees, so we were about 10 degrees warmer than what we normally see for average. The low is what we should be expecting around this time. Right, average low is 32. The low we saw yesterday was 30, so out of all relatively nice. No precipitation fell yesterday. Sunrise at 7:14 a.m. Sunset is also at 6:14 p.m. So we have a little bit of those minute times almost at the exact time. Looking at the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, however, most of the country from the northeast through much of our viewing area is going to see about average temperatures. So we're going to see what we normally expect here in February. However, places from Florida all the way up towards, from the Florida Panhandle all the way up towards Delaware, you can see below average temperatures are forecasted. However, going towards Arizona, towards New Mexico, Arizona, Texas, all of those regions, that's going to be towards the Midwest. Way above average temperatures are forecasted. Below average temperatures are forecasted from California, North California, all the way up to the state of Washington and parts of Montana into North Dakota. But the rest of the country there is expecting about average temperature outlook through the next couple of days. So relatively nice, relatively as expected. But again, some of the viewing area is going to get below average of what they normally see for this time frame. Now looking at the 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook, much of the country is expected to get above average precipitation there, especially Kentucky, West Virginia, all of those regions, Ohio, Indiana, all of those regions are expected to get way above average precipitation. Even places from Washington State to Oregon, and places from lower end, but places from California all the way up to the northeast, including locally here, we're supposed to get above average precipitation. Much of our much of our South Carolina forecasting region is expected to get about average of what we should be expecting, but places from the United States and Mexico border there, you could see near Arizona, shifting all the way to Florida, especially towards partly towards Austin, Texas. You can see below average precipitation is forecasted through the next 8 to 14 days. So definitely want to watch out for that. Now let's go ahead here and take a look at today's total precipitation. This is not today's. This is from today through tomorrow. So basically, 24-hour total precipitation. About an inch or so is forecasted through much of the western North Carolina mountains, especially towards East Tennessee. Upstate South Carolina traced to maybe an inch. But out of all the chances, the rain that we're going to see, it remains relatively low, but we'll continue to update it. However, winds were pretty breezy yesterday, especially during the evening and a little bit of the overnight hours. Winds will again be a little bit strong today through the early portion of tomorrow morning. Winds of 40 miles per hour isolated are possible just southeast of Asheville or so. You can see upwards of 30, 40 miles per hour possible towards the upstate South Carolina, Piedmont, North Carolina, and central portion of South Carolina. East Tennessee also getting into that action a little bit at 20 to 30 miles per hour. So just be prepared for some breezy conditions through much of today. Nothing significant, nothing major to worry about, but definitely something to just monitor. Looking at the futurecast here over the next couple of hours, starting off the morning, cloudy conditions still continue through much of the morning there. We can see a little bit clearing skies possible through much of the western North Carolina mountains. The rest of the viewing area is expected to get cloudy conditions there, especially upstate South Carolina. Through much of today, you're still just going to stay under those clouds. Some pop-up showers are possible towards southwest North Carolina. You could see maybe pop-up showers north of Knoxville too. Outside of the viewing area towards I-26, we'll see more showers increase a little bit more, pushing in around 5 p.m. this evening there. Knoxville getting in on the action before it all starts to dissipate towards the early evening, overnight hours there. Pop-up showers. Showers will continue to increase during the overnight hours tonight into much of Thursday, as we are expecting some moderate to very heavy rainfall at times, nothing too significant. You can see going a little bit at 1:30, we'll see more showers start to really pop up there a little bit more on Thursday, especially on northeast Georgia counties and the southwest North Carolina counties. There you go, some pop-up moderate heavy rainfall is possible. However, it's not going to be anything significant. We really do need this rain, so it's going to help out a lot without a drought. If I had a drought map, I would definitely show it. We're still in the works of doing that. But out of all, just dry conditions through much of a little bit of Thursday before some showers still start to push its way in towards about 1:30 to 3 o'clock and much of the Thursday afternoon. Now looking at today's high temperatures here, upper 60s to the western North Carolina mountains, mid 70s towards the South Carolina upstate before we drop into the mid to upper 40s for tonight, lower 50s in Columbia. And before we warm up, check out tomorrow's high temperatures. Tomorrow is going to be great, but aside from the showers, it is going to be great temperature-wise. 72 in Asheville. We're talking 74 degrees in Greenville-Spartanburg. However, if you're headed down towards the central portion of South Carolina, the central portion is going to get the best temperatures out of all that we've seen the last couple of days. 77 in Columbia there, 73 in Charlotte, 71 in Hickory, 74 in Knoxville, 73 in Gatlinburg, and Athens sitting at 76 degrees. So out of all nice temperatures, you won't need that jacket much anymore through today and tomorrow, maybe a rain jacket. But besides that, nothing much at all. It's going to remain relatively nice. Now looking at the updated Highland Weather 7-day forecast here. This is an automated 7-day forecast system graphic here, so we'll update you just a little bit. Dry conditions through much of today, mid 60s, warming into the low 70s. Thursday, showers, thunderstorms possible Friday and Saturday. You can see temperatures will be in the low 70s on Friday, dropping into the low 60s on Saturday. Sunday through Tuesday, there's a chance of precipitation. I don't necessarily agree with a snow chance at all. I think that's a little bit too significant with the Highland Weather forecast models there, but we'll continue to watch that. 50s on Sunday, upper 30s for highs on Monday, then upper 40s again for highs on Tuesday. Lows will possibly reach the upper teens Monday night, so definitely want to watch out for that. Lows and average through much of the next couple of days, mid 50s, upper 40s, dropping into the low 30s, lower 20s through the early portion of next week, so definitely want to enjoy. All right, everyone, I'm Chief Weather Forecaster Beckett Webb here. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. I will see you all with the next Weather Watch program on Thursday. Make sure to tune into the Asheville FM update at 11 a.m. this morning to get additional weather updates here on the radio while you're on the go. All right, everyone, I'm Chief Weather Forecaster Beckett Webb here. We'll leave you with the updated Highland Weather 7-day outlook.